This week in Jamaica Now, schoolboys struck by lightning during football match. Deadly MoBay crash, 2 drivers killed, more than a dozen children injured in 3-vehicle collision. Former Petrojam General Manager racks up $1 million phone bill in 1 month. A parliamentary committee wants answers. Why entertainers and bauxite workers turned up at Parliament with placards on Tuesday. St. Catherine and Clarendon state of public emergency extended. And Jamaica hailed for successful end to IMF program. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. The 2 Jamaica College footballers who were hospitalized after being struck by lightning on Monday are now recuperating at home. 2 footballers of the Wilmer's Boys School were also injured. The game was immediately halted and the boys rushed to hospital. The president of the Intersecondary School Sports Association, Keith Wellington, says it is now time to establish a policy that would govern the playing of matches in inclement weather. Meanwhile, 2 of 12 children injured in a fatal crash in Montego Bay, St. James this week remain in hospital. The driver of the minivan in which they were traveling was killed, as well as the driver of a Toyota Corolla which had slammed into the van. The accident happened on the Flankers Main Road around 3:30 p.m. on Tuesday. Eyewitnesses say it appeared that the driver of the Corolla lost control of the vehicle, hit the median, and then ended up in the path of the minivan transporting the children home. A Nissan motor car then slammed into the back of the Corolla. The management of Petrojam will have more questions to answer when they next appear before a parliamentary committee. A document obtained by the Gleaner shows that in 1 month, discarded Petrojam General Manager Floyd Grinley racked up more than $1 million in cell phone charges. According to the document received by the Gleaner, in December 2016, Grinley's phone bill amounted to $1,008,099.80. That was multiple times the phone bill of Winston Watson, a previous Petrojam boss who had been seconded to the Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica as Group General Manager. That same month, Watson incurred $20,947.27 in cell phone charges. Grinley became the Petrojam boss on November 23, 2016 and resigned in July last year at the height of a scandal over a series of malpractices at the state-owned oil refinery, including the hiring of Human Resource Manager Yolande Ramharak, who did not have the requisite qualifications. In a response to Gleaner queries, Petrojam provided a statement saying it has recovered some of the telephone charges. However, the company's spokesperson did not say when the expense was recovered or the actual amount. Several Jamaican entertainers were among protesters outside the Jamaican Parliament on Tuesday. They were demonstrating against impending mining in the cockpit country by Noranda Bauxite Company. The company has insisted that the mining will be outside the boundaries of the protected area, but environmentalists say the flora and fauna will be affected.
Protect our landscape, protect the biodiversity, protect our history and our heritage, protect our communities who live in the cockpit country.
And while the anti-mining protesters were at one end of Duke Street, Noranda employees were at the other end. They said there was a lot of misinformation fueling the resistance to the proposed mining.
We are not anti-mining, and we support JET as a lobby group, and we support all the environmental groups in Jamaica. The CCPA was defined by the Prime Minister, and there's over 275 million tons of bauxite that is impaired, and we're not fighting for not even 1 ton of that bauxite.
The state of public emergency has been extended in Clarendon and St. Catherine for 30 days. The government wanted a 3-month extension. However, the opposition resisted, instead proposing a 21-day extension. Both sides later agreed to a 1-month extension. The opposition is insisting that the government must first provide details on the success of the operations over the 2 weeks it has been in force. It has been expressing concern that the government is using the measure as a permanent crime-fighting measure. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says already murders in the parishes have been drastically cut. Former Deputy Speaker of the House, Lloyd B. Smith, escaped injury on Wednesday afternoon after being held up at knife point by 2 men during an attempted robbery in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. Smith said about 3:30 p.m. he was heading to a mobile phone outlet in Tropical Plaza when he was attacked by the knife men, one of whom ripped his pendant from a chain around his neck. The former Montego Bay Chamber president said he fought the men until his pants fell off. Smith also said although he was shouting for help, none of the passers-by in the usually busy shopping plaza came to his assistance. He said eventually a security guard for the phone outlet intervened and attempted to pull his firearm when the men ran. Jamaica has come in for high praises following the successful conclusion of its relationship with the International Monetary Fund, the IMF. Jamaica had a 3-year precautionary standby arrangement with the IMF. It followed the 4-year $932 million extended fund facility, which started back in 2013. Former Managing Director of the IMF, Christine Lagarde, has congratulated the 6.5 years of partnership, but more importantly, a successful program. Mrs. Lagarde said it was remarkable that the program, through 2 administrations, realized improved economic indicators. And Prime Minister Andrew Holness stressed that while Jamaica was happy to achieve a major milestone of ending its monitoring arrangement with the IMF, it was not the end of fiscal responsibility. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more from the protest over mining in the cockpit country.
Ever since entering the parliament, I've have an issue even about mining in areas that are designated mining and how it destroys communities, how it is left after the mining, the state of communities. You relocate families from areas that have no history to a family connection. And in this instance, my support is that there needs to be more clarity from the government.
It is very disingenuous and very hypocritical for them to now try and make it look like, say, there's mining going on the protected area and that the government don't care about the environment, or that you don't care about the environment. It is wrong.